Hey everyone, welcome to the stream, and welcome to the TheRantCast. I'm your host, Strangebus, also known as Joshua, because I'm not afraid about that. And I am joined by my temporary co-host, or guest, Comrade Polsky tonight. And that is in replacement for Kurgan tonight, as he is still out of commission temporarily. He will be back. He will be back, I believe, by the next episode. So I'll have to get back with him on that. But as far as I know, he should be coming back. So, man, do we have a podcast for you? And a whole night planned. It's not just going to be the Rantcast. I'm doing games tonight, and I'm also throwing a couple other things in. So before we get started, let me go ahead and bring Polsky on in 1 second here, and we'll go ahead and bring him onto the stream. All right, Polsky, are you there? Still with us?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and make sure fine tune a couple things. All right, so today's topic, as you see in the title, corporate copyright and complete garbage. We got a lot to say. I'm going to be bringing in a couple things here today as well. For some reason, I am peaking today. I didn't change any of my volume settings. But we got a lot going on, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to get this started because I'm going to play some Rollerdrome. And
There you go.
Yeah. This was kind of a game I wanted to show off on stream for a while, but couldn't because I had some really cruddy ISP problems. So we'll kind of roll into that before we get started on anything. But another couple topics we'll be kind of touching here tonight is kind of the things with copyright issues and screw your controller. I use mouse and keyboard. But a lot of things going on with YouTube lately. A lot of weird things going on with YouTube lately. It kind of leads into copyright, kind of leads into a couple things like biased opinions and whatnot. So I'm going to kind of touch on that. Not getting too political, but we're going to touch on that. A couple things to do with more corporate schmoozing. Update for KOTOR, the KOTOR remake. There was a recent update for that. I don't have any more faith in it. Going to be talking about another upcoming game this month. Mostly because I want somebody else's opinion on it if they have it. But there's a Harry Potter game coming out the 9th of September. I was planning on buying it because I have a couple people in the family who are interested in it. But from what I was told, it's supposed to be an open world title. So see if I can get some fact checking on that. Do some more research. But is it hot or not? And then last but not least, just some more Rantcast garbage. Anything going on recently, we'll just kind of go into. But kind of take it away with the fact that I've been kind of gone over a plethora of issues. And me and Polsky were kind of talking about it. Kind of leading to the fact that, like, going into corporate topics, we've talked about ISPs and data caps, and how I feel that, like, data caps are kind of an outdated form. Just in general, they're outdated, I feel.
100% are.
We kind of live in an era where the internet is not only just required, but it's used continuously. So, you know, having a data cap, even if it's like 2 terabytes, 3 terabytes, whatever. Having a data cap like that is, to me, a little bit absurd. Because you're kind of it's kind of a shady business practice. You know that you're eventually going to hit something like that if you have like a family of 4 or 5. If you're by yourself, you probably don't have to worry about it too much. But
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, unless you're, I guess, someone like me, I suppose, who downloads like a crap ton of games. I mean, I'm gonna go into that and say like, I download like a lot of games. I don't always keep everything on my hard drives. I like to make sure my hard drives are. I'm picky. I make sure that they're at least 50 to 40% free, because I'm just picky. So that's an OCD type thing for me. And
So I
back in the
shouldn't
day,
send you this screenshot then.
you already did. I've seen
okay.
your mess. Yeah, the I just think it's another big thing where we've kind of just, and then the only ISP in my state right now that does that. The other one, and I don't really want to list too many details, but I live in Iowa, so I guess there's only really 2 main ISPs. There's CenturyLink, there's Mediacom, and then you've got a third party, which is HughesNet. And there's satellite internet, and they're garbage. So if you want truly reliable internet, you don't get them unless you live out in the middle of nowhere. And if you live out in the middle of nowhere, not only do I pity you because you usually have to get them, but yeah, then I'm sorry that that's your only choice. But yeah, so CenturyLink does have a data cap, but it's hidden, and it's like astronomically large. Because I used to work for that company, and there would be people who would hit it, and we'd call you and be like, look, why, it would be a reason for concern. Because I think it's like somewhere around 60 to 100 terabytes. It's something crazy large. And like if you were hitting it, the only reason they were taking a look into it is if like you were doing something illegal. So, and if you were hitting it more than once. So that's, yeah. That was my.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the reason for me. So.
If you're just tuning in, you're joining us live at the Rollerdrome Arena in
When
London.
I used to be, just a young lad.
A young lad.
Our ISP at the time decided to try and do data caps. And they're like, okay, for the next 3 months, we're just going to monitor how much you're downloading and uploading, and then let you know. After these 3 months, this is going to be the limit. This is back like DSL days. So
yeah.
We're talking like late 90s. Because I'm that old. Yeah, no, and like the 1 month I was just like, okay. So I think the limit they were gonna set and impose was like 5 gigs.
This was also like 256K sort of deal, right? You had like a...
no, this was DSL, so we were getting like a whole like 10 megabits tops.
Well, that was powerful back in the late 90s, though.
Yeah,
like,
no, again, yeah, 100%. Like this was like top tier shit, unless you're paying $1,000 a month for like T3 lines and stuff.
Yeah, I would have killed to play Outcast on that internet in those days. Oof.
Oh yeah, no, it was great because I was downloading Jedi Knight mods a lot at the time, and when we switched from dial-up to DSL, it was a huge difference in how fast I got these Jedi Knight mods. But regardless, so a few months after that, anyways, the ISP decided to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna start capping data at 5 gigs a month, upload, download. So for the next 3 months, don't worry about it. We're just gonna monitor and tell you how much you've done. The first month, I did 50 gigs. So they actually called us. We're like, what are you doing? And I'm just fucking using the internet.
A lot.
I'm downloading mods and shit, like mods for games, which was still legal. That's legal. I didn't say I was downloading games at the time. Or music at the time, because LimeWire was a thing back then.
Oh yeah, the
With
Wild West
Napster.
of the internet, dude. That was.
Oh yeah, no, this is like early days of all the shit. But yeah, no, they were just like asking questions. I'm like, yeah, I'm just fucking using the internet. That's what it's there for.
Right.
And they they really didn't have a rebuttal. And they're like, okay, so next month we're actually going to charge you. And they're like, what happened to the 3 months of you're just going to monitor it? They're like, no, you've used too much. We're actually going to charge you. Cool, thanks, bye. Went to the cable ISP because they just started offering cable internet instead of DSL, and they had no data caps or weren't even considering doing it at the time. So like we legit canceled like fucking the next day. Got cable internet, no problem. So that's how fast that worked with the data caps here. Like for some carriers with like you said, there's one satellite carrier. I can understand them perhaps having some sort of limitation with regards to just how much throughput they can do, regardless of like how many clients they have or anything. Which is why they would do a data cap to try and make it so people don't use the internet as much, so that everyone using the internet, because it will be limited regardless, will kind of watch themselves as to when they're using the internet, how they're using the internet, so that not one person is bogging down the connection forever.
Right. And I don't know how much HughesNet actually has for a data cap, if they have one. I haven't checked their website, because really I would not recommend having them at all.
No,
I haven't heard great things about having satellite internet in any form, but
no, I wouldn't either.
Because you're just relying on the signal of the satellite at that point. So it's to me it's kind of like one of those things where even like I was surprised even like relying on CenturyLink, because they're still a DSL service technically.
Yep.
And how they hook up fiber is very unique, because they still temper through a DSL line, but they then use a box and all the other crap to like get your fiber and stuff going. So it's like it's really weird how they do it.
Okay.
I can't remember exclusively how, because the last place I had, I didn't really analyze the box or anything. We didn't really have a problem with them.
Right.
And I got pretty much close to the speeds that I had. I did not do really great this match, but I got pretty much close to what we had. For gigabit speeds, we'd get close to like what it was 800 to 900 meg, I think it was. So, and like I said, we had no real use for that, because I mean I loved downloading games and them being instantly done, but yeah, the speeds I have now do almost the same thing. It's maybe an extra 5 minutes. So like I don't really flip out that much over it, but it's really the data cap. And like I called them, and this company is so used to people getting upset with them that they'll instantly try to take you to the loyalty department. And I don't want a better deal. I don't want you to try to lower my... I mean, I don't care if you want to lower my prices over that. But it was like this... I'm pretty sure it was a lady from out of country. And she literally tried to just... try to get me over the loyalty department, realized they were closed, and just had to deal with me being upset. And I wasn't like screaming or anything, but I was visibly upset. I was like, look, every month we hit this data cap. And I was like, is there any way I can get this extended or... upgraded without having to get to your, like, I don't want to upgrade my internet,
Right.
I just don't want to have to deal with this data cap, because I'm going to hit it. every month. It's not a matter of like, oh, I'll hit it every once in a while, so I'll just pay your overage fees. We're going to hit this every month. Like, I'm guaranteeing you this month, because of my streaming and stuff, and like the fact that we're a family of 5, we're going to hit this again. And here I am going to be calling you, and she's like, well, we'll have the loyalty department call you tomorrow. And guess what? Tomorrow, they didn't call. So, and I was like, well, do you have any references to your corporate office or legal if I decide I get tired of your bullshit and I want to, like, get a lawyer? And she's like, no, we can't give you that info. And I was like, well, do you have a number or anything? Nope, can't give you that number. So, just letting you know, I would have to call my lawyer up and have them look up all that information themselves. I have to spend that money myself. Like, you guys hide it so that I have to get my lawyer to fish it for me. Like, that's ridiculous. You know, it would save somebody time and effort and maybe keep them from suing you if, like, you guys didn't, like, hide that crap. And I'm pretty sure this ISP's company's CEO is probably like 60, 70 years old still, and still think it's so smart to have a data cap. Like, but,
yeah, I 100%.
But like
this is the big problem in Canada, is that no one in government really understands technology, and they're all just getting paid by the big 3 companies for anything internet-wise. Like, that's the whole issue. There are 3 companies, more or less, servicing 35 million people.
Yeah.
And any of the smaller ones that are servicing the handful of people that aren't stuck to the big 3 have, like, no power.
What's going on, Nightwolf? How you doing?
That's a good friend of mine there, Nightwolf.
Don't get me started on ISPs and data
Him and I
caps.
literally talk about this all the time, so figured I'd get him in here.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's what I'm saying is, like, you know, if I'm not living in Iowa, then it's like Comcast and whoever the fuck else. Like, and they're even worse because they either own one side of the neighborhood or the other person owns the other side, and like at this point,
no, that's the whole problem in Canada. One company owns all of it, or the other side of it, and then none of the little guys can even do anything because the big company's like, no.
Still got a D.
And the little guy's literally like, we can put our own shit in. We don't really care. We just want to put our own shit in. And nope, the big company's like, nope. And the government's on their side, and they're like, yeah, nope.
So,
the big company said no, so no.
So hold on, is it the fact that the little companies are doing it and the big companies are like, well, hold up a second?
No, the little companies want to do it. The big companies don't let them, because the big companies know if the little guys start doing it, everyone's going to move away from the big company to the little guy, because no one likes the big companies.
Well,
we're just kind of stuck with we're just kind of stuck with the choice.
Because I was gonna bring this up, right? A lot of big companies like to do this, and they'll do this small business partnership deal where they'll bring in the small businesses that really don't mean anything. They're like, oh, here's these tools to help get you started, and they'll give you like these basic tools, and they're branded. They're literally branded by them. And then either the business will get up off their feet, or they'll remain like completely nameless. Like they're not even a threat. The small business will be like 1 in a million or like 1 in 100 that'll get up off their feet, and then all of a sudden it's target time. They'll send a message, be like, okay, so now that we have your attention and you partnered with us, you can keep doing what you're doing, but we take, I don't know, 60-70% of what you make if you want to keep using our tools, because we'll keep sending you stuff to make you successful, but now we take most of your profits. But don't worry, 30% of what you're making is still a lot. Like, and then they'll proceed to do that, or they'll buy them out. It'll be like, here, it's either that or we can buy you out at such and such price. And this price, don't get me wrong, you can retire on it. Like, and who says no to that shit? Like, it's one of those things where, like, no small business can get up off the ground, because who wants to work hard and slave all their life on their passion when they've already just SV_cheats.1 and they've gotten all the money they need. Like, and it's one of the worst things that I see with game companies too. And I'll bring up game companies. It's the big thing that, like, really good game companies that start climbing from the ground up, that people start to admire, get bought out almost instantly. Like Ninja Theory, for example, was one of them. I actually really enjoyed some of their games, and Senua's Sacrifice was really good, and it was $30. And then next year, what do you know? Microsoft bought them out. Like, we can't just have a normal company rise up from the ashes. They have to do all the hard work, and they don't get the same successes like, you know, the big companies used to.
I just want to, speaking of game companies, I just want to throw out a shout out to THQ, like OG THQ, with Red Alert 1, where, like, the entire environment was destructible. It was like first ever kind of game to do that. Then every game that did it after was like, oh, we're the first to do a destructible environment. It's like, no, bitch, you weren't.
Yeah.
You fucking weren't.
And THQ did a really good job on some of their games.
I remember there was a mod for Red Faction.
Thanks,
where
Nightwolf, for following the bus. I appreciate it.
There was a mod for Red Faction where you can have, like, a super nuke, which would literally obliterate the entire level. Like, you fire it and, like, the whole level is gone and you're just, like, in space sort of deal. Like, anything destructible got destructible or destroyed. The only thing that was left was, like, door frames. No doors, but the frames were still there. Yeah, that was always a fun mod. It didn't really help you in single player because there were certain doors you had to go through to progress, and all of a sudden you couldn't go through the door because there's no way to go through the door unless you're, like, using cheats and flying.
Yeah, but like I said, it's to me, it's just it's the same things, like, one after another, and, like, it doesn't just stop with, like, certain companies. It goes everywhere, and it drives me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And, like, it just comes back to, like, when I was talking about, like, with, like, copyrighted material and all that stuff. Like, we just kind of live in an age where people just, they bring out whatever schlock they can, and they either expect you to pay for it, and once it kind of stops becoming the next big thing or stops becoming profitable, they ditch it. Nothing's memorable. It's done. It's all been said. And, you know, to me, it makes things very tasteless. So
I was actually talking to Wolf about this the other day. I would be willing to pay an extra $20 or whatever amount that seems reasonable for a brand new game to have it on everything all at once. Like, new games come out at $80 or whatever for PS5, Xbone, or Xbox Series X now, I guess. PC,
so like
etc.
you called it Xbone.
So I always call it the Xbone. It is never not the Xbone.
It's so nameless now. It's so like Xbox hasn't done shit with their console in, like, forever. No offense to anybody who likes Xbox. Like, if you still like Xbox, that's cool, I guess. But it's just, it's half the reason why I don't invest in Xbox anymore. It's just, there's no, like, originality.
Well, this is the reason I still have an Xbox. Like, all my shit still works on the Xbox. The Xbox Series X has not had enough exclusive content or anything on it that I haven't been able to play on my Xbox so far.
Oh, hey, but don't get me wrong, PlayStation's kind of losing that deal too, because, you know, a lot of their shit's also re-releasing on PC. I mean, yeah, you got Horizon.
Yeah, it is releasing on PC, yes, but I can't do it on the PS4.
Right.
So it sort of makes sense for me to get a PS5 for the new iteration of Final Fantasy games and what have you, because they will only be PS5.
Still gives you that motivation to want to buy one. Like,
Yeah.
I bought one for... Now, there's I have a lot less interest in certain games than you do, Polsky, but, like, I still bought mine because I was like, oh, man, the Kotor remake. I got it also for Horizon because, you know, Forbidden West is out for PS5 only because God knows when that's coming out for PC again. And, like, so, and I just finished Zero Dawn, but I'm real slow at that game. Like, I'll probably end up restarting it before I finish my first round again. So,
I haven't even finished that game.
but I finished Zero Dawn this year on PC, and I was like, oh, no wonder this was like a great game in like 2018. You know, 2018 was a year for games, good games. You know, you had what was it, Spider-Man, or was Zero Dawn coming out in 2017? I can't remember. Either way.
Yeah, maybe.
But like those 2 years
to the point.
were really good, at least for me for certain games, like, you know, Red Dead.
Definitely.
And, you know. Beat Spider-Man this year. Oh, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Back to the point I was trying to make when I was talking to Wolf. Again, like, new games come out, they're $80. Fine, great for whatever single console, PC, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I will pay the $100 for a game if I can just get a key for all of them. You know what I mean? Like, if I buy it digital or whatever, or even physical, I'll have the physical for one version, but then I get codes for the rest. Because it's like the all-inclusive bundle or whatever the hell they want to call it.
Like codes for the rest? Like, what do you mean? Like codes for like the...
So I'll buy like a physical PS5 copy that is extra from the regular version. That is like all inclusive, so I'll get a code for Xbox. I'll get a code for PC. I'll get a code for the Switch if it even works.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
That's what I'm saying. No, I know it won't. This is exactly what Wolf and I were talking about. But I would pay the extra money for exactly that, just so I buy the game once and have it on anything I want to play on.
Now, I don't
whether
know
I install it or not, it's up to me, but I own it for all of them.
Now, I don't know if Xbox is doing this, but I know that PlayStation's doing, like, if the game is PS4 compatible, they'll give you both copies usually, unless the developers are real sticklers. Yes.
No, PS4, PS5 is backwards and forwards compatible.
Yeah, and that's what's been my greatest thing. It's because my kids have been wanting to play.
I mean, PlayStation's always been great about that sort of thing, like with the PS2, because that was all... Anything you played on PS1, you could play on PS2. Anything you played on PS1 and PS2, you could have played on the Fat Boy PS3, which I still have, but I need to fix it. Because I have, like, the OG hardware PS3.
I mean, I think they hit a small bump with backwards compatibility for a little while, especially when I was, like, working with the systems. But what I do enjoy is the fact literally I could pop any PS4 game in. At least the ones that I've popped in so far have worked. They just work.
Yeah, no, they
some
will.
of the ones that are, like, off title, they'll be like, hey, they'll, like, warn you. They'll be like, hey, there might be bugs in this, but
right.
it runs. So the fact that they just let you do that is decent.
Yeah, Wolf, you're right. The Xbox does also, but again, there's nothing on the Xbox Series X that isn't on the Xbox One. Like, there haven't been games that are like, weird. You only need an Xbox Series X for this.
Because with the hardware, I was thinking, I mean, that could be good and bad depending on, like, what they're releasing, right? Because, like, usually, I mean, like I said, the big titles I've seen, like Horizon, works for both PS4, PS5, notably different. Like, you could definitely tell, even on their the non-fidelity mode that they have for Horizon, the one that's supposed to be at 60 FPS, so it takes off all that extra crap. Because I ran a benchmark on that game for both PS4 and 5 to kind of compete with. I have them on the. Why am I drawing a blank on them? Hold on, give me 1 second, because I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Don't let me do that. Why did I forget? Anyway, I was competing with a couple of other benchmarkers, and it's gonna pop into my head eventually. But I was benchmarking my own to see if I could get any like real clear differential shots. And there's one like standing over a canyon where, like on PS4, there's a lot less detail displayed. As on PS5, you can definitely see the rendering distance. You can get the resolution changes on both modes. You can, yeah, it's big thing. Same with like Spider-Man, and I mean, I think the thing that sells people with Spider-Man is the loading times. They're like fucking instantaneous. It's boom. But, I mean, but that's to be expected with the hardware. But like I couldn't. I'm surprised that they don't have anything exclusive to the console itself. Flight Sim.
Oh. No, I thought Flight Sim was still.
Dude, that's a demanding game. My computer has a hard time playing that game on ultra settings.
It's actually not very demanding. It's just very big. That's what she said. Sorry.
Could be streaming quality, I guess, because I do run it in like the all that streaming stuff turned on. But I didn't see why I wouldn't be able to handle that. But I've only played it a couple times.
Okay, so I see. So on my Xbone, because I just checked because I have it up, I can only play Flight Simulator through the Cloud Play, which is like the streaming gaming option, as opposed to like downloading it and playing it. Whereas I have it downloaded on my PC because that works. Because I have Game Pass Ultimate, so I can do both. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't get steady FPSs on that game at all when playing it. It gets like, you think I can get a steady 30 playing that game. Don't do texture streaming unless you have yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because I don't have one of those. I have a 2080 Ti, but I don't have a. But that's what makes it so good.
Radeon for life.
Hey man.
Nvidia second.
Don't you know, I don't dog you for it.
I made my decision when I had problems with Nvidia cards, so like it wasn't a bad decision. I realized there are drawbacks to some AMD cards and their drivers, but at the same time, I've had less problems dealing with AMD cards than I have with Nvidia cards.
See, I just don't buy them steadily enough. Like I said, I could tell you the cards I've upgraded in the last 10 years. I went from a 560 Ti to, was it the 9? 560 Ti to, I skipped 2 generations because that card lasted me so long and performed so well that I didn't upgrade from 2011 to 2014. I think I ran that card for 3 years. Played games just fine.
Nice.
But that was also a time when, like, you know, you were demanding 144 FPS and, you know, all sorts of extra crap. It was like tessellation was new around that time. So, yeah, I think the next best thing I got was I had 2 of the 960s. I did SLI with the 960s to test SLI features, and then I upgraded to a 980 because the 980 was just better performance overall. And literally, I got a deal because some guy was upgrading to a Titan, and so I got my 980 for they were like $800. I bet you do. I remember a lot of my builds. I still have cases from some of my older builds. I have cases, hardware. I just don't have my GPUs because I sold them at the right time. Sold a good chunk of them. I had my 980 all the way up till last year. So
I've never sold a graphics card that I used to own. I think I gave one to a friend for one, and that was it. Because like his died, and he needed something so he could work and whatnot. So I gave him one of my old ones that was old, but I've kept every single one.
Well, that's nice.
I still have one sitting in my closet.
I would if I had more space.
My parts bin.
So I don't give away any of my older hardware. Like I've got like older GT cards that I would never separate with. But I usually I will take apart a lot of my older GPUs, and if I have the tools and stuff, I'll try to restore them. Or like the 760 I had that was given to me, I had to take apart and put new paste on it, but I had to put I used Thermal Grizzly for that and ran a couple tests on it and ran fine, but it was really messed up when I got it, so it was like really filthy. I took it apart just to clean it out and then realized that the paste they were using for it was awful and old. It was gross. I also keep my Dell XPS. I can't remember the model, but it's my Pentium 2. I keep that thing pretty well maintained and cleaned. It does need a chassis restore though, because it is starting to rust due to the temperature changes in the basement. So, but I need to do like a chemical dip, but it takes time.
Yep.
That I don't have.
I hear that.
And what else? I've got a whole bunch of like also older work computers that nobody nobody uses anymore, and I've just disassembled them and worked on them and like just put them back together. Ooh, I missed my jump. Yeah, my first build was that Pentium 2 in there. It was, and it's a cartridge CPU.
Oh, so, I remember those. Yeah.
And I kept it because it was it's pretty unique, and I've tried to keep it maintained so the cartridge doesn't pop in and out due to the heat displacement. So.
My first computer was a 486, but I didn't build that one. We were given that one as a gift from someone else. Like my family was, I mean. But my first build was a P4. That's one I paid for.
Yeah, well, the first computer I actually owned was a Pentium 1, but I didn't build it. It was a gateway PC. My mom helped me put it together.
Nice.
I used it to play X-Wing Alliance and stuff on, which it ran like absolute garbage.
Yep, sounds accurate.
And then I had
that game was a bit much back in the day for that.
I lacked the proper RAM too. I think it was like 64 meg, I think was required for that game. I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, I think 16 was required, but 32 is recommended.
Yeah, I think I had.
But if you were running 64, then it would have been like you were essentially running like 64-bit Windows and nothing like that at the time.
It was either something with the RAM that I had to get upgraded, and then on top of that, like I kept telling my mom that it was probably also my processor. I didn't have computer terms back then. I was like 6 or 7, but I told her I needed a new computer. But she was like, "Nah, you can run this one. So I got you new RAM. Should be fine." Nope, still ran at like 12 to 20 FPS. I loved it.
Yep.
It still ran fine for me to play on. Outcast ran like hot garbage on that thing. We had I think it barely ran at all, but I still got away with it every now and then.
Nice.
I can't tell you the graphics card because I had so many different graphics cards on that computer.
Oh, I played X-Wing Alliance with no graphics card. That's how old I am.
Hey, don't dog software mode. I play it in software mode a lot because most GPUs, unless like you get it that fixed, they don't recognize it. So
Yep.
you have to play it in software mode. It doesn't look half bad in software mode.
I started with X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, but yeah, no, same thing. No 3D mode for me. But that was also back in the days when...
You have no voodoo card. You suck.
Yeah, more or less. And when doing multiplayer, it was really like, okay, who's on what kind of connection? Okay, well, based on that, we can only fly these ships, so it's an actual fair fight.
Oh, man.
Oh, like, it was... I spent too much time on a Y-Wing just because people were on, like, 28.8 connections. That's all you could do. A-Wings were too fast, X-Wings were too fast, TIE Fighters were too fast, TIE-Ns were too fast. So you flew a Y-Wing. And then you would just do this 2v2 dogfight in a Y-Wing.
Sometimes you just gotta play the Y-Wing.
And you know what? After like 7 hits, 3 of them might register.
His first build was a Core 2 Quad Q6600 dual GTX 295s. Yeah, I still have my 6800 GT.
Youngin.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, I have video cards before the X, and then
Yep.
I still have I have a GTS 450 somewhere, and that was from 2010, 2009, I think. And then I've got a 6800 and a 6700 GT, I believe, which are like old school. And then I've got a Voodoo card from that goes into that Pentium 2. I think it's in that Pentium 2. I think it's a Voodoo 3, I think. Get hella frames on X-Wing Alliance with that card. Best card.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that.
Yeah, I think the Pentium 2 that I have is 500 megahertz, I believe, is its core clock.
God, I can't even remember.
Yeah, but that Pentium 2 was my first build. I built that at 7 years old. I got it pre-assembled, as in like I got it in bits and pieces from Gateway, so like it came with the parts in boxes. And the chassis was hooked to the motherboard and stuff, but I had to put everything in it because that's how they sold it. They sold it in bits and pieces. If you wanted to build it yourself, it was cheaper. They had an option to do that. And my mom was always looking for the next best deal, so I told her I would build it myself.
Right.
And so my Uncle Roger helped me build it because he helped spend the money and did not want me to break anything. But he let me do pretty much everything because he said if I wanted to do that stuff, I would be doing it myself. So.
Right on.
So I classify that as my first real build. I had a PowerBook G5, I think it was, or not G5, but it's a PowerBook. It's from 1995. I had that all the way up to the flood that we had over here, and that got drowned in water. So it was working. The only thing that didn't work was the nickel metal hydrate battery, and of course that died over time. It was actually so bad I actually had to get it replaced because I think it started like deteriorating and I could not keep it in the unit anymore.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I actually had to dispose of it, so I had to get a replacement box, which was not easy to find.
Right.
Like, they don't sell nickel metal hydrates for power books anymore. Not even, like, you know, third parties. So I had to go to a custom shop to get a box to fit in the laptop to replace the battery. Woo! Oh, I gotta do some more tricks to get my ammo up. But yeah, those were fun times, though. I really did enjoy, like, because those were the times I really messed with hardware the most. Was like between my youngin' days and my like teenage years. You want to include pre-builds before I started doing custom builds? We can. I mean, yeah, man. Like, I mean, if we're gonna include our you know, our golden years, or not golden years, but our young years. I don't know why I said that, but like our young years to where we were like, you know, just building computers. Your first build could be really anything. It doesn't have to be the first time you started building from scratch, but
Yeah, sounds accurate.
alright. And I think this is the last guy. No, it's not. There's one more guy over there. But I went from that, I think I went from that Pentium 2 computer to a, my mom had the Pentium 3. She got the Pentium 3 for work and the internet and all that fancy stuff. So there was like a family computer where everybody could use it, and I played a lot more games on that than mine. There was mine, which I started with the Pentium 1. Then I built the Pentium 2, and that stayed in the living room for the longest time. And then I got the Pentium 2. And then when the Pentium 4s came out, my mom got that. And that's when the XP days started happening. But
yeah, I remember those days.
Doom 3.
Yep.
That was like the
Still
first
haven't
big.
finished that one either.
Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't finished that game either. I haven't gotten to the end. I just remember my first machine was basically the first E machine with an AMD K5, a Riva 128. Oof. I don't even remember the AMD K5. What the? I'll look that up. Huh. They still sell for $90? What the fuck? So, correct me if I'm wrong, but its competitor was a Pentium Pro. They have a list of K5 processors, so I don't know if I'm even looking at the right one, but that's crazy. 96. Absolute pandemonium. Alright. So, next thing I've got on the list here is pretty much just upcoming titles. And then kind of touching base on some shows that I followed. So we're kind of looking at there's a couple games that are coming out this month that I just wanted to take a quick look at, and that's we've got Hogwarts Legacy, I think is coming out the 9th. And then we've got...
You said open world. I thought it was supposed to be like...
Well, that's what I heard.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's supposed to be like Oblivion-esque sort of Harry Potter deal.
So...
Not Oblivion, Elder Scrolls in general, I mean.
Let me see. Yeah, so let's take a look. Take a look here. This is the website. Can't wait to dig into this. So it's an immersive open-world action RPG set in the world first introduced in the books. For the first time, you're experiencing Hogwarts in the 1800s. Wait, didn't they? Oh no, the new movies are like the early 1900s, huh? So this is like way before.
Oh, so it's like the Old Republic.
Yeah. Student holds the key to an ancient secret that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. Take control of the action. Blah blah blah. Selling points.
Yeah, so it is literally like the Elder Scrolls Hogwarts.
Yeah. Well, so we want to look at open world action RPG. So yes, you're probably looking at something like that, or something similar to like, because I guess Horizon does something similar to that, where it's like open world and it kind of has some role play elements in it as well. But
right.
We'll kind of learn as you level up what the leveling up thing is all about. Hold on, let's see if I can full screen this. There we go. Well, you don't have to see my taskbar. You can learn spells, brew potions, grow plants, tend to your magical beasts, get sorted into your house, forge relationships. This is like a Peter Molyneux speech right now. You plant the tree, and then 10 years later, the tree becomes a tree. Like, come on, man. It's just Fable. Chill out, bro.
Yep, sounds accurate.
Master skills. What I was looking at when I looked at gameplay for this was like, you could be evil, and I was like, oh shit. You can learn like the bad boy curses, and like.
Oh, is that what they mean by being a witch?
Just start offing folk. Yeah, like I think so. It's live the unwritten. Like, okay, so that's what I'm thinking of, right? This is the big thing with video games that I hate the most, right? Is they are selling it like you can just write your own fucking story. How many years of Hogwarts do you get? Is there a story for every year? Is it 1 year? And it's just one long ass story? Do you get to be good or evil? Like, what's the catch? And
right.
That's what I'm looking at. So
or is it going to be like older Scrolls, and you can kill the wrong person and fuck up the entire story?
I mean, I'd be happy with that too. So this
I've literally done it in Morrowind. You kill the wrong person, and all of a sudden you get a message. I think this person died, so your destiny is no longer clear, and you're kind of fucked.
I think
in a nicer way.
I think you came after my Morrowind playthrough. You were around during my KOTOR playthrough, but I did I did some Morrowind gameplay, and it's one of my favorites, my top favorites. Besides,
Morrowind is great.
Besides
Morrowind
Daggerfall,
is my introduction to Elder Scrolls.
Mine was Daggerfall, and Daggerfall is extremely hard. I don't usually play it on stream because for me, the way I play it is extremely boring. I take way too long to do things, and I consider it fun. But I think I played it once. I played it, playing it in front of an audience or maybe one or two people. It's like people will watch it and be like, this guy. He's just, either dying a bunch or he's like sitting there talking to folk for way too long. Like, usually you have to know what you're doing. And like, for me, each adventure in Daggerfall is a new one, except for the starting spot, which you're always in that fucking cave. So,
right.
I love Daggerfall. It's not a streamable game unless you know what you're doing or you're just fucking around.
Makes sense.
Morrowind is great because it can be an adventure. You can kind of take your time, or you can just go around off and folk, and like it'll tell you. You can still complete the game if you off the wrong person. It depends on the person you killed. There are certain...
Oh no, I literally killed like main quest guy.
Yeah, if you kill Cassis Casadas, you I think that's his name.
Yeah.
You're done. You can even go unless you find a way to get to Dagothr early, and then kill him. You still don't get a satisfactory ending. Like, you're still kind of in the wrong there. So to answer your question, Nightwolf, you said this game's focused on the Potter sequel movies. Is that what they are? Because I thought the newer movies were set into the 1900s. Like the kind of the era where, like, you know, we still kind of had, it was like London in like the early 1900s. Like, we're looking at still modern stuff. Like, this is going to be like 1800s years, where I don't know where your character's going to originate from. Probably somewhere in London, but this is probably taking place before all of that. I'm guessing they picked that year because of that. They don't want to like intermingle with anything, and you know, they want you to have a clean slate so you can write your own adventure. Which, if that's the case, yeah. Also, can somebody answer me? Every new developer for stuff like this has a name associated with them, which I'm going to get to with KOTOR now as well. Has anybody started noticing that trend?
Sorry, what do you mean?
So, who's making Hogwarts Legacy? Portkey Games. Games being plural, like they've made more than one game. And if they have, great, but it's Portkey. So I'm guessing it's a developer that's been renamed to Portkey. Portkey's a Harry Potter thing, right? I'm pretty sure. And like, for example, the new GTA remasters were made by Grove Street Games. The what was it? The KOTOR remake is now being assigned to a company called Saber.
So Portkey Games has only done Harry Potter related stuff.
Okay.
And they're a division of Warner Brothers Gaming.
Okay. So I'm guessing at one point in time,
people that did Arkham City, I think, actually.
So these guys did Arkham City then?
Or some of them might have.
Yeah,
because
so
Warner Brothers Gaming was part of Arkham City, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so they're probably reassigned. That's what I'm starting to think, is like they've probably just been reassigned, because like a lot of developers get reassigned to a small division and then they rename it this. And I'm thinking that it's to kind of, if the game sucks or something is happening to the game, they can just reassign people back to their original teams, and they could just say, fuck this chain. Like, they don't have to kill a whole chain of people and their jobs. Right. That's my assumption. I don't know about the other ones, but like, Aspire's no longer doing KOTOR because of its indefinite drawback. So, and this is now going back to KOTOR. If I'll even look this up. I don't think there's a definite date on it. I was told it was moved to 2025 by Saber, but or remade. Remade. I'm silly. So yeah, troubled Star Wars video game remake shifts to new studio. I'm just pulling something out from this for now. So
she said, sorry.
Yep. It's all right. Keep going. Fantastic Beasts sequel to Potter's early 1900s. Potter series was later years, still earliest. Yeah. So this one's supposed to take place in the 1800s. So I'm thinking that's before all this stuff. But
they did Injustice. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Aspire.
That's another UV game.
The project. Oh, they did. So at least they have some good games under their belt. Like project formerly development in Austin, Texas-based Aspire Media is now being led by one of Saber Interactive's Eastern European studios. According to a person familiar with the change who asked not to be identified because the details are private. Both developers are owned by the Swedish company Embracer Group AB, which is obliquely referenced the Pivot in a public statement last week. They didn't have a comment. So Aspire's no longer doing the project. Which, you know, it sucks for Aspire because they've been working on ports of KOTOR for like 10 years. Could totally understand why, because making a port and making a fucking whole new game from the ground up is completely different. And I said this on the last couple rantcasts. Like, I'm pretty sure with the deadline that they were given and everything else, they were probably under some pressure. And what was it said? They presented a vertical slice, and it was god awful. So god awful that people were fired. So I can't blame them completely for making a god awful vertical slice, because I wouldn't expect Aspire to make a game from the ground up and be good at it. But then again, I don't know their full resume. I just know they port those games over. So, you know, that's my take on it. But I don't see anything saying that it's supposed to be out at any point in time, so they're probably still saying indefinite. And that was as of the 22nd of August. Chell, what's going on?
That's for the KOTOR remake?
Yeah. So if you have any other sources, feel free.
I actually haven't looked it up enough to warrant doing that at this time.
Yeah, because they've got, like I said, the only thing that I've seen was new developer. So I said a lot of people are saying 2025, and to me that would be a relatively decent release date. But like I said, besides this, I'm not too excited about it at all. So
right,
I would be surprised it even makes the cut at this point. So good luck, Saber Interactive. We're all counting on you. Not really. Focus on something else. Star Wars games have a horrible curse.
I have a feeling that there's going to be one more expansion that comes out for SWTOR, and it's going to be the last one, and then they're going to run the servers for like 2 years and then kill them.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know how I can explain that, or explain it any clearer than that, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think the game has kind of run its course.
Right.
And they're going to do one more kind of hoorah DLC. I don't think it's going to have like a super amount of content. But I think it'll be more for the players that have been playing from day one. And then like a couple years after that, they're just going to... Yeah, they're just going to kill it.
Killing it.
Like, yep, no, exactly what Wolf says. It's an EA BioWare thing to do. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of dropped in rank in the last couple of years. Because when I started playing it again, it was within the top 10 still. Now it's in the top 20.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where it's run its course, and they're either going to need to make a new IP or...
I don't know where this stands.
Content, but I don't think they're going to throw in too much effort at new content. Other than, again, like one last DLC for a hoorah sort of deal.
Oh fuck, man! I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is still killing it right now.
Oh yeah, I still play that.
Jesus. Cannot believe WoW is still up there. That's ridiculous. Guild Wars. Jesus. Star Citizen? Are you kidding me?
Star Citizen's up there too? Jeez.
17 million people have been roped into that garbage. Roblox.
I mean, I paid $50 for it, so.
Star Citizen?
Yeah.
Look, man.
I mean, I got
hope in it
into
too.
it like way before anything. All I know is every time I log in, I unlock something new because I paid $50 for it way in the beginning. Like, I have like 4 ships or something I have access to, and I don't even know what that means because I just don't play the game.
I don't know why Anthem is even listed in here right now, but that's funny. Where was it? 29? It's ranked 29.
For which?
Anthem. Active players, 0.
Nice. That's hot. I never even bothered trying that.
The Bob Dylan of video games, folks. Just want to let you know. That was EA's biggest hope at becoming the biggest thing in video games.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like their
0.
That was supposed to be their answer to Destiny, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, originally it was supposed to be a single-player RPG with actual story focus, and somebody turned it into the garbage trash fire that it is now. And this is the result: corporate meddling. 8 million players tops.
Corporate meddling. I'm not.
And the fact that developers left and came back, top lead people. What was it?
Yep.
Casey Hudson left the project a year after showing it off and was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a great game. It's gonna be so good. Compared to jizz in your pants." Pardon me. It's he was all about it. He was just all over it, and then he just leaves. Straight up fucking leaves. BioWare. And then comes back after the other guy couldn't cut it. Asked to have his job back, and they gave it to him.
Well, speaking of BioWare, I mean, you can look at their... If you want to look at a downhill spiral, look at the end of Mass Effect 3 compared to the first 2. And then, to make it even worse, look at Mass Effect Andromeda.
I don't want to look at Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm probably eventually going to have to play that game and to beat it, just to actually give a full opinion on it. And I can barely chew through the beginning of that game.
So, Mass Effect Andromeda, right? There are things that just happen in the game that... I do know how to get you ranting. Well, we both know this. We talk fucking every day.
It's all good. Well, that's what this podcast is for. So.
That's... No, 100% I will. Yeah, no, Andromeda is just, it's just... The way they, recorded the characters and stuff... You're like... Why is my person smiling when she just talked about murdering, a bunch of people?
Yeah.
None of the facial expressions or anything makes sense with any of the context that they're talking about. They just don't. And the story entirely in itself was kind of eh. I couldn't even remember to tell you what it was, because that's how meh it was. I played through it, I beat it. Okay, no. I am not a bad influence, Wolf. That is not my fault. That is just on you.
I like Scooby snacks. I gotta be careful though, because I'm trying to like avoid kidney stones right now. So every time people mention like really yummy food, I'm like, I'm just drinking water right now.
No, it makes sense. No, Wolf's having funny gummies, if you will.
I see.
Just because I mentioned it to him when I was talking to him earlier today. And so he's blaming me for it. It's clearly not my fault.
I would, God, EverQuest 2 still has players? What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
300,000 people.
Oh, people stream that shit on Twitch all the time.
Good God. I'm surprised it still works on like people's OSs. Isn't that the one for like the 90s?
No, because didn't. Oh no, I'm thinking EverQuest Classic.
That was the last time I played EverQuest, and that was because like that was my first introduction to an MMO. MMO was EverQuest.
So I used to read PC Gamer a lot, way back in the day, and like EverQuest 2 was like the shit in the handbag for fucking any PC gamer that you needed to play. And I remember I kept just reading things about EverQuest 2 because it was in the magazine, and it was like literally every issue, every month, along with the demo disc. EverQuest
Right.
2, something this, something that, whatever, EverQuest 2. And I kept trying to play the game or find out how I can play the game, and I could never really find out how to do that. I never went to the store to like try and buy a copy. I never subscribed to it or anything. I don't know how that kind of worked out. That everything told me to play EverQuest 2, but I could never find anything to actually play EverQuest 2 with. And it wasn't a hardware thing. It was literally like I couldn't go and find anything to install the game from or nothing.
You've been called out, friend.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this to Polsky because we say this to each other at least 200. Yeah, this is true. No, Wolf, you've been E2'd. All right, you've been E2'd. Oh, yeah, fine, Wolf. Fine, whatever. Be on your merry way and enjoy your edibles. You gotta tell me what you got, though. You can DM me that.
See, I'm like traditional dad, and it's not legal in my state. So I had another friend talk to me about this stuff, and he kept referring to it as like soda. I don't know if it was actually what that was, but like he kept referring it to me as soda, and I was like, oh, I was like, what are you drinking? And like I was just casually, what's you drinking, man? And like, he was like, no, dude, it's this. I was like, oh, okay. I was all right. It's not legal over here. I mean, like you can get THC in certain forms, but not legal over here. Like it's still a 7-year penalty getting caught with it. So, and so I feel weird because oh, all right. Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, because I would be doing it because I'm epileptic, and like a lot of people have suggested it to me for like my epilepsy. Instead, I'm taking this dope instead. But yeah, it's just funny because I haven't done that stuff regularly since I was in my early 20s. So it's funny. I get like dad brained about it, and then I just laugh because like I used to just talk about that stuff. So if you're ever mentioning stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, so Scooby snacks. I like pizza. I like and then like you're like, dude, Quit being lame. Sorry, it's just gonna happen. I'm just gonna be lame.
No, that's fair.
My mom's an epileptic, and it really does help. Yeah, I bet. Like, I've had a lot of people talk to me about it, and like I said, I'd like to try it out, but because this stuff here has a crap ton of sulfur in it, and it's probably what's contributing to my kidney stones. So I have to have a really decent diet. But I digress.
The Old Republic still slaps though as an MMO.
Yeah, really I like it. I'm not super keen on the story as much. I mean, I like the story, but like,
but here,
I really would have preferred what they did with VIII going into the third game, as they were originally going to do. But I don't mind it, is what I'm saying. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Too many things.
My chat isn't popping up either, which is bothering me.
So for the Old Republic, the thing I liked about it was the full voiced, every quest, full voiced. Voice actors, every quest you pick up, you have a conversation, they talk to you, they actually say the words and stuff. That to me was a game changer for how I looked at MMOs compared to when I played WoW at the beginning. WoW was just, here's a text box, go do this, and that's it. Yeah. And SWTOR was literally like, here's a fully fledged voice actor saying, hey, can you do this for me because this, that, and the other thing, or whatever. Or we need to get this done for this mission to succeed. Like, that sort of deal. Like, it brings you more into the game to have an actual, voice. Not that you're talking to the person, but you're having a quote-unquote conversation with them, as opposed to text box, accept quest, go.
Right. Like I said, I enjoy it. It's not bad. It's probably one of my favorite MMOs because of that reason. Because you can also play it alone now. You just play it alone.
Yep. Nope. 100% you can.
When they went free to play, to me, I didn't think of it as great, but really, besides the fact that they lock really stupid things like your helmet, like you can't hide helmets unless you pay for it. Like, it's $2, I think. So if you really just want to get away with the bare minimum, I like hiding your helmets because some of the helmets in these games are stupid. Like, so you could literally just get through the game.
For anything that isn't like a soldier class, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is because I started off as a Jedi and they have like ridiculous like headbands and shit, and like I didn't like it. So, May 15th. Oh, 9, I shattered my leg. Bones. Oh, God. Yeah, I can understand why you need, what you need. So, you're all good, man. But I personally don't like that. If you can get away with just doing free-to-play, you can play through the story by yourself. You get through the whole first chapter and, not notice anything. You'd be fine. Just gather the equipment they give you because you're not doing PvP. Go,
And you know what? Compared to some other MMOs, SWTOR PvP, you really don't have to do.
Yeah, you don't.
Some other MMOs, to get gear and what have you, you have to do PvP.
The only thing
you don't. You really don't.
If you do want a diverse experience, because unlike KOTOR, and even then it can be a little diluted as far as armor and stuff goes. But if you want different armor, because the game's gonna give you armor, they're gonna call it something different, but you're gonna put it on, it's gonna look exactly the fucking same. And I mean, even less than KOTOR 2. KOTOR 2 had very limited looking armor.
Right.
And you're gonna get something that looks exactly the same. And you may want to keep your old armor, and that's not going to happen because in MMOs you have to keep progressing. You have to. You loot and equip. If it has better stats, of course. I mean, I'm not just going to say equip everything you find. What I'm saying is that you can't run like in KOTOR 2. You can't buy the best thing in the game with your in-game currency and run with that because it looks decent and it has great stats. So if you want that, grab a cheap pack of something, buy a costume that has decent stats, and you can upgrade it with the stuff you find in game. Like I said, if you want any diversity, you're going to have to pay for it. I subscribed, I think, once or twice throughout the year I played, and that was enough for me to get a costume and use the tokens to buy some upgrade stuff and some crystals. I was golden. So, and I have like 7 or 10 characters, so I'm fine with my gameplay of, and I could still play through more because there's some characters I still haven't completed the story on. So,
right.
It's a very diverse experience as far as like its story and stuff. And like I said, if you're just okay being like common Jedi with no diverse look, then you could play the whole game for free, and they'll allow you
absolutely.
to. There's nothing keeping them from doing that. And this is what I would give EA for and BioWare, and this is what I think they should keep to, is the fact that they rely on people to willingly want to buy cosmetic items. Your character looks bland. How do you change that? Sub to their thing, you get tokens every month. Is it tokens or credits or some shit every month, and you get bonuses. And they do different shit every once in a while. So like you get bonuses for subbing, and like they're really good things. And shit unlocks. I think if you sub once, you don't have to deal with the head thing anymore. So like you could unsub after that, and that's good. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, you pay for the sub, but like that pretty much also helps you. I think the only bad thing I have about that game is space. Like if you really rely on cargo space or like storage space, and you don't sub, or like you sub for a while and don't sub, you're kind of fucked. If you like have a full, like, you have full storage. Because if you upgraded storage and you're not subbed, which I think I did last time, and I'm not subbed anymore, so I probably lost some shit. They don't give it back to you, as far as I know. Like, that shit's just gone. Or it's somewhere that I don't know where it is. So, like I said, I haven't been upset enough to find out. But like if you're storing shit, that can be a problem. But
it'd be a problem for me because I've been playing on and off since open beta for the game, basically. Well, closed beta. So I have all sorts of tunes.
Yeah,
I finished the main story on every class. I've only gotten to not the most recent expansion, but the one before it on 1.
Okay.
And that was the last one I decided to go through the entire story through with.
Yeah, I just went through the first chapter on certain main classes. Like I did 1 Jedi, 1 Bounty Hunter, 1 Trooper, 1 Sith, and then I was gonna do the other classes after I beat their storylines. So Polsky,
Yeah, what's up?
not to completely switch topics, but you
Oh,
told
no,
me you
dude.
haven't heard much about the Rings of Power, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm a full
No,
screen
well,
this here.
I know it's like out or whatever, but I have not watched it or looked any further into it
Because the messed up
beyond
thing
knowing it's a thing.
is my chat box isn't working. That's why I was not full screening this because I wasn't doing anything. But I'll just go ahead and full screen the stream again. Because for some reason my chat box was refusing to work. So, first things you see about these top stories. Just let me know what you see.
Hold on. Amazon deploying its own anti-troll. 3 ways Lord of the Rings is different from Tolkien. Ring of Power getting review bombed. It's just a release. It's just another release thing. A racist backlash to Rings of Power. Amazon releases no, but fans complain.
Okay, so
it doesn't really show the rest of the headline.
So just overall, we're seeing just backlash, right? You're not nothing on here is stating that like it's gotten negative review, but you're just seeing like fan backlash. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like the show isn't bad, but we're getting fan back. The show is different, so fans are crying, right? They're crying, it's horrible. I'm gonna say, because right now there's only 2 episodes.
Okay.
And as far as from what I've been told, I have certain sources that have told me this. Back in the day when Lord of the Rings was still kind of a big thing, and I'm not saying it's not a big thing now, but you know, back when like this thing was kind of a big deal, like you had the Peter Jackson movies and stuff,
right?
And it wasn't so saturated. We have, I believe it was set. The person who was given all the content stuff, that was Tolkien's grandson, I believe, that kind of like approved and did everything with Jackson on the story and all that stuff. There was some vetting involved. So you know, Peter Jackson told the story from a certain point of view, and like I said, I would be showing this to folks if I wasn't getting copyrighted for it. Right. So, but if you ever go and you watch the Lord of the Rings, the original 3 films, not The Hobbit. I mean, you can go watch The Hobbit if you want. I mean, I guess that's a more recent portrayal, but you can see how it's filmed. It's filmed a certain way. Like I said, Peter Jackson usually has like a kind of a calling card when he films. You could usually tell it's a Peter Jackson film. Kind of the way you could tell. I don't know if this is good or not. Kind of the way you could tell Quentin Tarantino films are a Quentin Tarantino film without his stamp. Like you just walk into the room and you're like, oh, that's a Quentin Tarantino film. After a while, like you kind of tell. Usually it's the way it's shot, who he has in the film, what's going on in the film, because they usually film certain things.
So I kind of want to say that's inaccurate though.
Why?
Because I don't think for Peter Jackson, it wasn't the Lord of the Rings movies where he started doing his camera thing. It was the Hobbit ones that he did.
So, like we were talking about, for me, it's the same thing for King Kong. He usually has a lot of wider shots, but they're still, it's not like crowding FOV, right? He has... Okay. There's certain things where most characters, when they're in focus, there's a certain way they're in focus. I'm not a movie buff, so I'm probably explaining this horribly. But it's not just Lord of the Rings, right? It's like I said, he did it with King Kong. There's also certain people he has that are brought into that movie. So like most directors will tell you, like it's a lot better to have a certain crew with you at all times because you know them, you can trust them better. But the big thing is he usually has that, so his work is a little bit more recognized. Like so, there's a lot of overhead. There's usually some overhead shots that are very, for me, they're very familiar. It's just the way they're shot, and it's not like well, this guy does overhead shots all the time. Like no, it's like. Usually if they're like when they're traveling, it's how the shots are panned. It's what film he's using. It's the type of shot done on the camera. It's stuff that you'd be able to recognize.
Okay.
If you looked for it.
I understand what you're saying. Yep.
So, like I said, usually Tarantino's more grainy. He's more upfront in your face. So what I'm getting here is like when you go to a movie like, or when you go to a show like Rings of Power, since of course it's not Peter Jackson, and I'm not saying that he's the only person who needs direction on Lord of the Rings. What I'm saying is like it's a I don't think they took into account the previous content. Like, they maybe had somebody vet through the story of Lord of the Rings for a little while, and like, we're like, okay, well, here's the changes we're gonna make. Here's some things we're gonna do. We're gonna make this a little bit more action oriented. We're going to put a little bit more oomph into this scene. Because it's what people are attracted to. People like drama, they like action, they like blood, they like gore. It's what's going to bring it in. And like, so that's where I think people are going with this. Because the actors and stuff, as far as I've seen in the show, they do an okay job. But from what they're told and scripted, but from what I've seen, there's not a whole lot of like powerful emotion because they're not given I don't think they're given enough time. Like, literally, the first 5 minutes, Galadriel is like a child. She's inventing something cool. And the other kids are like, that won't float. And, you know, it's usually like, you know, it's your troubled kid, like, kind of story. But she literally gets into a fight within the first, like, 5-6 minutes. And, like, a fist fight. She, like, tackles the kid and starts, like, decking him. And, like...
Okay.
Like, okay. Because, like, he threw a rock at her boat. Like... And so, okay. And like I said, it's intriguing. I think some of the special effects are a little kind of weird at times. Like I said, you see a snow troll in there, and I think there's some times where it really shines, and then when it first pops out, the CG's a little wonky. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what kind of budget this show had, but I'm going to assume it didn't have a huge one. Only for the fact that maybe they were pushing to see like if people were going to like it or not.
I think that's kind of how it works with shows, where the first episode or two, they're either dialing it in for CGI things, or they're seeing how much more they can spend based on viewership for the rest of the season. I don't know that the show is done filming the first season or not, or if it's, you know, like still in production. If it's still in production, then what they're doing is that sort of thing where they're dialing it in and seeing how much or how little they can actually spend on anything CGI.
Okay. So, and like I said, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, so I don't know much. Like, this would be something that Kurgan would be great at, which, in his absence, maybe we'll talk about it again next rantcast, but I think they picked this time and place for this exact moment. I feel like the fact that they wanted to once again have like kind of a blank sheet to make a story. And for me, and like I said, I'm not a huge buff. Please correct me if I'm wrong here. Why not just go ahead? Because there isn't much story told besides, I think, what was it, Frodo's journey after the series, because he had like a book, because he wrote the book, and then like he did something afterwards, I think.
Nope.
He didn't? I thought he when he got older, didn't he travel the same route as Bilbo did?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
He went.
I thought he sailed away and did funny things, but okay.
No, he went to the Elven Isles with Bilbo right after Return of the King.
So isn't that a journey in its own?
No, because the elves were with them. It was literally on their boat.
Oh, okay.
Like the elves were going there anyways, and
well, like I said, like I don't know,
along.
Like I don't. It's like there's no journey
sure,
there.
like,
he just retires. Like I don't know. Like it's kind of one of those things.
The next story they should have done is probably more about Sam, but Sam is just
Sam.
like doing family things in the Shire.
Yeah, so even more at the same time, like making it hundreds of years later, make another story based off that, include some familiar characters that are still alive. Or if you don't want to do that, make it even longer. Like, I feel like this is including characters that people know and love, and
Right.
I'm not saying trying to be safe here, but like, wouldn't it be better to just make a whole new Lord of the Rings story rather than make a new one based off characters that still exist?
Well,
And like risk having that sort of backlash?
Okay, so with that exactly said, what they should have done, because I feel like this is a thing that would happen in that universe. Someone else found a way to forge another ring of power that would have started another war. So the only people that could really be recurring characters would be like Gandalf, because it's like 300 years in the future or whatever. Maybe Elrond, if he's still alive, if he's not out in the Deadlands of the Elves, or whatever they call it, the Everlasting Fields, what have you. But yeah, someone else decides to make another Ring of Power. And then what? Right? Like,
I mean,
that's
like,
the story.
I feel like that's just Star Wars syndrome at that point. Like, why not do an invasion, or do like something, make a character that has a hidden evil, or like, do something, do something familiar but true, like something different.
Well, so here's the thing though, this person forges the Ring of Power, and as opposed to it being hidden, like it was with the Hobbits and the Shire, with Bilbo and Frodo and everything, this person actually has it. Right? So like they actually have the Ring of Power and are using it. So then the forces of Middle Earth have to come together to actually stop them.
But wouldn't that be the War of the Ring without the elves? Because the elves left Middle Earth, right?
No, not all the elves. No, just I think the old ones, as far as I understood. I didn't think all of them left.
See, I know some Lord of the Rings, and I feel like the War of the Ring was basically when Sauron had the ring at one point in time, and they were like all battling the orcs and stuff. It was like told at the beginning of the movie, and like a whole bunch of people died because the man couldn't handle it by themselves, so the elves joined in, and
And it would be similar. It would be similar to that. That's for sure. But we only got kind of snippets of that in the movies themselves. So unless we're getting either a full-fledged, here's literally the War on the Ring the first time, or here's a new War for the Ring the second time. With it, and again, original story, similar concept to what's already been presented, but original story. So you have new characters, new character development.
So you're still giving that sort of like meaning to the title, then, I guess.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's more about the title than anything, but at the same time, you're getting more actual, like, there's some kind of conflict going on, and there's new heroes born based on however the story progresses. It doesn't even have to be hobbits. Hobbits can be involved. Hobbits, even at this point, could be part of the army. Right? Like, hobbits have grown and learned to take up more arms and have a more militarist, what's the word I'm looking for? Military, like, not lifestyle, but they're not just kind of, in the hood, have their head in the hood in the Shire. They're more involved with everything else going on in Middle-earth and have like a sort of standing army. Might not be large, but still standing army, what have you.
Okay.
And then, this new villain all of a sudden is like, yeah, I'm gonna try and mess everything up for everyone. And you know what? Perhaps the journey of the heroes, I wouldn't call it a fellowship per se, but perhaps their journey is literally to go from wherever they start and learn about the war. Say, they can start in Gondor, because that's where the war can start for whatever reason. They go from there. The Lordship of Gondor is going to defend its spot, while the heroes go on a journey to unite these other armies, whether it's the remaining elves, the hobbits, if they can find dwarves, whatever else, and bring them to the front so that all the armies of Middle-earth are once again allied and fighting together against the might of the One Ring.
So, I also have been slammed into oblivion with my low budget thing. I guess, according to this, the series is expected to be the most expensive TV show in history.
Wow.
$1 billion. They're expected to spend $1 billion on its.
Rip run.
And it's already getting some really bad backlash. So, I mean, I can see why they're defending it, but like, they had people talking about this before it came out. Like, I always say this, like, if you're making countermeasures against the fans, you're doomed to fail, I feel.
Yep.
Just run your show. At that point, don't make AI that like adds likes. Don't do crap like that, because people are now we now start to spot that. The only people that don't spot that are like your average consumers. Like people are not very like tech savvy, I feel. Like we'll start to like, they don't pay attention.
Yep.
But like
I agree.
A lot of people are now starting to figure that crap out, because when you get somebody who has random numbers and shit in their name and the review says is good, liked it lot, very well done, I feel like that's not a true review.
So I'll tell you this, and I only know this because I know things. Some movies that show up as a torrent early, and I don't know how close I am to breaking toss here. So I'm not saying download it, but I'm saying when a movie comes out and it's available for download before release, like way before release. Let's talk X-Men Origins Wolverine. Bad.
Okay.
Like when it's that bad and it gets released early and it's like a still working on the CGI kind of early version, the movie's going to be bad. The reason it's released is because the studio knows it's going to be bad. And they're just like, let them have it. They don't care at that point. They're like, some executive saw a early cut and was like, no, this is garbage. And then just went like Control-C, Control-V into a torrent folder, and that was it. It's uploaded, it's done. It's on the internet forever.
So a lot of people are saying it doesn't feel like Tolkien, but it doesn't feel like Peter Jackson. So I would agree with that.
Right.
Because like I said, the first episode that I watched, I've read the Tolkien books like back in middle school. So I can't effectively say what's Tolkien and what's not. I can tell you Peter Jackson took stuff approved from Tolkien, like from Tolkien's grandson, So you can't really even say that was Tolkien, because like that was Tolkien's grandson who showed devotion to his work. These guys are his, I think, great descendants, and they, like, I've heard they just don't care. Like, but then again, like, they're, like, whoever they're giving it to might care. Like, they might want stuff done. So, a lot of people are like, not great, but not terrible. Not a faithful habitation, but it's really good. Like, so, I mean, I'm going to be kind of contradictory here because, like I said, a lot of people that I've talked to were not expecting it to be good, right? I'm going to give a final for the first episode that I watched and just say it might not just be Peter Jackson. And it might not be full Tolkien either, because what is? You know, I would just say don't watch it if you don't like it, because at this point we're getting into the era where, you know, we're shelling shit that's years old. Like I said, Star Wars is still going on, and it's not going to feel like Star Wars anymore eventually. I don't think it feels fully like Star Wars anymore as it is, but you can't keep that feeling going forever.
I mean, I think that's another Rantcast episode.
Yeah,
I want to get me started on that.
I do. I feel like you can make it happen, but like I said, I'm the guy right next to you, Polsky, who's going to hate. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you, and like there are things about Star Wars that I could rant about for hours. But I also think that like there are people that are going to come into production that are going to want their own take on shit. And they're going to want, like I said, Rian Johnson just came back after 5 years to do his own review on The Last Jedi and still says he doesn't regret a thing. And to be honest, I mean, a great statement, sure. But I feel like learning from your audience is the best thing that you could be doing right now. Because to me, I think he's a great director. I just don't think he's good for Star Wars.
I think that's what Disney 100% missed the plot on, is the audience.
Yeah.
Like, how many of us have read the books, know what's supposed to happen, quote unquote, versus what they chose to make happen?
And like, unlike with certain series which they gave people creative control with Lucas, but Lucas still had to approve everything. Like, they had to go in, talk to Lucas, and Lucas is kind of an asshole. I'm going to let you guys know, I've seen interviews with Lucas, and I've had a couple sources that I'm not going to name before I started streaming that have shown me interviews with Lucas. He's kind of a dick. No offense. No offense to George Lucas. You're still a great person. But so was Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was the hugest prick on the planet, and he got shit done in certain ways. Now, some people agree with that, some people don't, because some people don't like Apple. I am not an Apple person to be said, but he had more money than I do. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he did something. He took a company back, and I think that, you know, when Lucas came in, the floor was his. So, you know, he came in, he was nice, he was cordial, but when he wanted something done, he fucking wanted something done. And because it was his to work with. And, you know, fine. But I'm not going to say that he was, you know, that, you know, he was nice about it. Like, he was a prick about it, and there was probably a reason for it. So here's the big thing that I think Disney really, really missed the mark on. And it was literally in their door to not miss. Dave Filoni, who did a bunch of Clone Wars stuff, and Star Wars Rebels and whatnot, like, why not let him take the helm for the 3 new live-action movies?
Like that's what they should have done. Because if you, again, we're talking about the audience. Like, listen to your audience. Everyone loved what Dave Filoni did to the Clone Wars, Rebels, anything else he's worked on, Star Wars wise. So why not let him fucking do the 3 new movies? Like, it was in their face the entire time. Rian Johnson is a great director. 100%. No question. Is he right for Star Wars? No, I don't think so.
I just don't think he does good Star Wars. That's the thing. Is you could see when they did those movies, there wasn't a lot of control. There wasn't a lot of guidance there. Like, Disney let them, they gave them the movie and they're like, hey, go nuts. Like, they didn't probably just give them everything free, right? Even, what's his face? Why am I drawing a blank? Help me out, Polsky. The Force Awakens. Nope. Director for Force Awakens. Why am I?
Director of Force Awakens. Star Trek. Shit.
Yeah. See, I can't even. It always happens when I'm streaming. I could pre-stream and label this stuff off, and I always get dad brain every time. I'm in IMDb. What the fuck? Can't I look this up myself? Never mind. Sorry.
He did. It was the bloom, the light bloom.
It's the light bloom guy.
Yeah, it was the light bloom. I remember that from Star Trek.
What the hell? Oh, for fuck's sake! TV episode. Just give me the movie. J.J. Abrams.
That's the one. Yes. Yeah.
Good
Mr.
God, that was.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Lightbloom. Yeah. No.
So we
that's
have.
The one.
Yeah. So we have J.J. Abrams, who is, he said that he asked him what was good, what was not good for The Force Awakens, and they pretty much said, like, look, take it away, we'll let you know. And, like, he said they weren't really very, like, tight-leashed about anything. There were some things they didn't want him to do, but and I'm pretty sure it was the same for The Last Jedi. And then when it came down to The Rise of Skywalker, it's probably when they were, like, deadlines and crap like that, because, like I said, Rian Johnson pulled kind of a weird take. And when you give somebody, especially a director, a blank sheet and say, go nuts, he's going to go nuts. I mean, they're telling a story, and, like, he probably looked at it and said, let's fucking flip the script. Yeah, let's just.
Lightbloom?
No, Rian Johnson just said, let's flip the script on this one. I'm going to flip the table on Star Wars. And he flipped the table, and everybody fucking hated him for it. So,
I mean, see, so the reason I mentioned Dave Filoni again is because I think he would have been that person to actually, like, the director directed.
Did he write those episodes, or did he just direct? I can't remember. He was a writer, right?
If he wrote. No, I don't remember if he wrote or what exactly he did, but
I think he's a writer.
The episodes were his brainchilds, like his brainchildren.
Let me check for The Mandalorian, because I believe he wrote for The Mandalorian, right?
Him and John he either wrote for it and then Jon Favreau directed it.
He's a producer
or something. Yeah, so he's the producer. So he's the decision maker that would have said yay or nay on things.
So he was an executive producer for The Mandalorian, and then executive producer for Book of Boba Fett, executive producer for The Clone Wars, and he was a showrunner. Yeah, so he was a writer. So I think he would have made a great secondary for those movies. He would have
been the one on set that said, even if the writers wrote it, he would have been like, no, let's change this. And then they would have changed it to make a whole lot more sense.
I think...
Like, that's what he would have done on the set of the sequels.
Who was our executive producer for Last Jedi?
Catherine Kennedy, probably.
Get out of here on this crap. Let's see. It says George Lucas for the writer. That's weird.
Technically.
Sure
No, he's actually still part of it.
Well, yeah, but I've seen his original like script for that. That's not even close.
Let's not even talk about that.
And look at all these uncredited people. What the fuck?
Yep. Oh yeah, it was just like, oh hey, you're on set. You want to do stuff? Okay, cool. That was literally how they probably got those jobs.
So J.J. Abrams, I guess, executive producer.
As one of them.
And Jason McGallan. I don't know any of these people. Well, I know some of them. I know Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, there's Kathleen Kennedy. Yep.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let Filoni anywhere near that because of Kennedy was on set. So, and I'm pretty sure she has a problem.
No, because Filoni would have like slapped Kennedy in the face. I don't mean that in a domestic violence way.
I find them to be good people, but like there's a lot of people who consider like what Dave Filoni Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to be like heroes right now. And I think they're just at the right place at the right time without supervision. They're not being monitored. So they're able to tell the story the way they're able to tell the story. And the book of Boba Fett, I think, could have been a little bit better told. No offense.
Fair. Fair.
But The Mandalorian, I think to me, it's once again the perfect story because it's literally something new. It's a new character. You have a new character. You have new characters being introduced. It's after the Return of the Jedi, so it's in a new timeline. Nothing came before it. I mean, yes, the new sequel, but there's enough time before it that there's nothing right before it yet. It's got space to stretch. So they had a blank canvas to write on. When you're writing in the Clone Wars, when you're writing in the Dark Empire days, when you're writing in right before the Galactic Civil War, you have a timeline, you have fact-checking, you have all this bullshit in the process that you have to check, and it's all canonical. You have characters that you want to bring back that fans will probably recognize. You're probably getting told to bring certain characters back. You know, I liked Rebels for the fact that they wrote characters in there and did not have to play by the rules.
I liked Rebels right up until Thrawn was a thing. At that point, I was like, "No, I'm sorry.
You're gonna fucking hate me for that because I didn't mind Thrawn being introduced in Rebels. I like him better, and I like him better in
unsubscribe, unfollow.
I know you hate me, but
no, it's fine.
I like him better in the books where he belongs. But if he had to be thrown somewhere, I'm glad that he's here and not in like the Clone Wars or not in like some weird fucking, because you know it could have been worse. He could have been a one-off where they threw him in like right before the sequel trilogy and they just offed him like some like bitch and like then he's gone. But they gave him substance. Like he's a tactician.
I still think the way he was described in Rebels still doesn't really compare to how he was in the books.
And Dave Filoni plays Chopper. Come on, man.
Like in the books, he just seemed that much more menacing, even though he was as forward as he was.
But you got Disney behind the helm, though. You're not gonna have Thrawn type deaths on Disney's watch. Some of that shit was nasty. Like I loved.
Yeah, but it was like it was like strategic dominance is the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was, and I'm all for strategy. I play chess. I love RTSs. That's my jam.
If like I said,
Rebels just fell flat in my opinion.
If I had to pick though, like I said, because we're getting the watered down Disney versions of stuff. Like I said,
Yeah.
if I had Kyle Katarn in my Disney Star Wars, and they're gonna pick him to be like some wacky ass cameo, or if he's gonna be one of the troops that comes in to get the Death Star plans, or helps to get the Death
I
Star
mean,
plans, or something similar, and he has
you
like some
know
sort
what
of
they're gonna do
substance.
with that, though, right?
Don't say it. Don't stop.
No. What they're gonna do is make Kyle Katarn Star Killer.
No, stop. I don't want to hear.
So they're
this.
gonna ruin 2 characters in one.
Stop. I literally I have threatened to be done with Star Wars on multiple occasions. They do that, I will officially be done. I will have a celebratory farewell from Star Wars forever. Except for the stuff that I have. I'm not doing it.
For some reason, find a way to make Kyle Katarn Star Killer.
But look, you got some awesome ass cast members in here. You got Freddie Prinze Jr., you got Dave Filoni,
Yep.
you've got Sam Witwer, Jason Isaacs.
Freddie Prinze Jr. was the reason I kept watching the show.
Clancy
Loved
Brown.
his voice as what's his name? Fucking.
What?
Chopper? Oh yeah, Clancy. No. Freddie Prinze Jr. was.
He's Kanan Jarrus. He was like one of the main characters.
Yes, Kanan. Yeah, that's the one.
But Clancy Brown was like in 12 episodes though. He was dope.
Yeah, Clancy was the alien on the ship.
Yeah, Ryder.
The one with the staff. Yeah.
He does fucking everything. Clancy does everything. He was in the new Dexter, and he sold. He sold
the
that
Kurgan
show.
Doesn't care. I mean, Clancy Brown is the original Kurgan. Just saying.
Hey, don't give him shit while he's not here. You gotta save.
Like Clancy Brown is literally the original Kurgan.
Oh.
He played Kurgan in Highlander. No, not at all. Like Clancy Brown literally played a character called the Kurgan in Highlander, the first one. Like you can look that up if you click on Clancy Brown and go down to like 1986. That's literally the character name, the Kurgan.
I played Kirk Caldwell in Dexter New Blood, and he was so good.
Oh, he's played a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Of course, he's Mr. Krabs.
Yep. That he do.
He played a lot of people in Rebels. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
They really used his voice. He's also in Thor. Damn.
Yep.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Oh yeah, no.
Hey, he's in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yep. That's accurate. It's probably in the other ones too.
Clone Wars, he plays Savage. Oh yeah, he does play Savage Opress, huh?
Yep.
Damn.
That he do.
They don't ever pay attention to this stuff.
Oh, Clancy Brown is, Clancy's a voice I've learned to recognize throughout any medium at this point. So if he's voicing something or he's in something, I will recognize it.
Like Sluther.
Yep.
Going down. Oh yeah, he was in Gargoyles. My kids are watching that right now.
Oh, that's still free on YouTube, isn't it?
Gargoyles? No, I mean they're watching it on whatever streaming service we have.
No, that's what I mean. It's like I think the director or artist or something or the studio just released it straight up free on YouTube.
Hmm.
There you go, Highlander, Kurgan. That's literally his character.
Cool. Bad boys. Oh shit, he was in Starship Troopers. Man.
Yeah, he was the drill sergeant, who then became the hero at the end of the movie.
Hot damn. Alright. But yeah, so like I said, I think he'd make a good, like, probably executive producer, but I think what a lot of these movies were also needing was a good writer. A good writer. Somebody to write a good movie.
I don't think the writing was the problem so much as the ideas were.
I mean,
which is where I think
you had
Filoni would have been like, that's a stupid idea. This is a better one.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was writing that movie too. Yeah, pretty sure Ryan. Yeah, so the big thing for all these movies was Abrams and Ryan were both writing and directing. Which
and I think that's what the problem was.
Yeah, when you're writing and directing, you're leaving full control to the director of the film. And most Star Wars movies, and most movies, just in general, usually have a writer and a director.
And I think then the executive producer could step in and be like, no, let's change this, or what have you.
So I really feel like that's...
I think Filoni would have been the guy to step in and be like,
I mean,
no, this is dumb. Do this instead.
Anybody.
Or with this, like.
Point. I mean, you could have had an executive producer, but like, even then, like I said, you need a good. I think you need a good writer, somebody who would have written, just starting off to write the script. And then, because like I said, you had people here in the cast who were giving off interviews saying like it was increasingly confusing, especially at the Rise of Skywalker. Like Daisy Ridley came out and said like they had 3 different ideas to how Rey was coming out, and they didn't know until they started shooting. And like I mean, I'm pretty sure half of these guys wanted to just be done with it. I mean, the only person I think was selling the acting by the end of the day was Adam Driver, and maybe Mark Hamill. I think he was just tired.
And I mean, Adam Driver. No, sorry, I was thinking of what's his name instead. Not Adam Driver.
Who?
The Stormtrooper. Why can't I think of his name?
Hold on. She's in here somewhere. Her? Gwendolyn Christie?
No. The other Stormtrooper.
Oh, he's in here too. Wow, he's not in the top credits. Oh no, he is. John Boyega. I was like, that's bad.
Yeah, John Boyega. That's the one. John Boyega. Yes. I thought he was the one selling it more than anyone else. Harrison Ford got killed in the first one. He phoned it in. Everyone knew he was going to phone it in. He was tired. He was tired of Star Wars after.
He doesn't need to do. 3. He doesn't need to do much to sell his acting anymore. He's old and grizzly and.
He's like fine. He's just like. He probably still had some kind of contractual obligation to
demanded a lot of money. I'm pretty sure. It was.
No. I actually do think he was contractually obligated to do one more movie.
After
or they negotiated again, because George Lucas was like you said, George Lucas was an asshole. He 100% was with contracts too. So 100% Harrison Ford had if I do another movie that is going forward in time, you're going to be in it. kind of contract obligation for life sort of deal.
I'm
If you
thinking
die
it was
before
more,
then, well, fine.
I think it's more that he listed a price and said he was gonna die, because he wanted to die in the 6th movie, but they didn't want him to.
No,
So
and that's the George Lucas contract obligation.
like,
He said George Lucas said no, and he's like, okay, fine, but if I do another one, I'm dying. And that's probably what it was.
maybe so.
But he probably had some ridiculous buyout of like 60 million or some shit.
Yeah, like I'm going with the fact that Harrison Ford probably gave him a pretty ridiculous number and like said, look, I'm not getting on that set unless you kill me off. And they were like, okay, whatever you want, Harrison.
Yeah, well, Disney said that. George Lucas wouldn't have, but Disney did.
Yeah. I'll do your fucking scene, but I better be dead by the end of this movie.
Yep. Nope, 100%.
And called him up for the Rise of Skywalker. What the fuck you want? Yep. Look, Harrison, we just need you to get back up here, say a couple lines, come on back down. We can't think of anything else to do. We just need you back up here for a pop-in scene. But I'm dead, damn it. No, you just need to come back up here, Harrison. Fine. I'll do your fucking scene.
Just do the voiceover from home. You're fine.
Well, we'll add you in on CGI or something. Just come on. You're not touching me with the fucking makeup. I'm just getting up here and I'm leaving.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Let
it.
me fly and crash a plane. Get off my plane.
He comes in, they go to touch him up. Fuck off me.
Yep. Oh, exactly.
But yeah, that's that was it for Star Wars. And you know, I've pretty much lost my point here because we've gotten into Star Wars. Once we get into Star Wars, I just start ranting about Star Wars. But
oh, so do I. I mean, you know exactly how I feel about it.
But you know, coming back to kind of finalize things as far as like Lord of the Rings goes, I don't mind it. I think if you're going in expecting like traditional, traditional Peter Jackson, and you're going in expecting in full-on Tolkien, you're gonna be disappointed. Like I said, I think that's where it kind of leads us into Star Wars, because like I said before, there's always going to be people, especially if they're not given a standard to follow, which I don't think they were given a standard to follow in Lord of the Rings. I think they were vetted a little bit.
Right.
But like the new Star Wars movies, I don't think they were given a standard to follow. Besides like the basic vetting, like they couldn't just make up characters in a regular like canonical storyline. I think that's why Disney erased a lot of the expanded universe, so they could have something to play off of. And the same thing goes for Lord of the Rings. Is they picked a spot where they could play off of, and they said just go to town. So rely off what you got and just go to town.
Yep.
And whatever. But I think when you do that, like I said, a lot of people think that this is where it kind of goes to the point where like people are like saying, well, certain companies have too much control over a situation, and then people say they don't have enough control. When it comes to big stories with big stories with huge canonical storylines, and they have a lot of art and touch in them, and the original creator is no longer there, I feel like you kind of do have to do your homework, like especially if you're the owner of the IP. Like I said, Tolkien's grandson put a lot of work into, as far as I know, he put a lot of work into making sure that things were at least semi-accurate. They may not have been perfect, but like I said, Peter Jackson created a great trilogy. Now, The Hobbit may have not been as great as far as I've heard, but as far as I've seen, it was okay. I mean, I didn't mind him. And like I said, he has a certain calling card when he makes those movies. And anything Prime Video wise, if you're wanting Amazon to match the quality of a traditional like feature film, you're gonna get disappointed. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So the two options here are watch with low expectations and hope that they come out with something, they keep making content, or just don't watch it. Because really, as far as I can tell, people are enjoying it, including fans of the series, which means that to me it's not breaking anything super canonical. It's just the fact that Tolkien isn't the Vision here, and to be honest, he hasn't been the Vision. It's been his grandson, right? And Tolkien's been dead for a long time. So I think what we're looking for is Peter Jackson. Now, like I said, I could be wrong in all this. Like I said, I'm not a mega fan, but I think the same goes for like these newer Star Wars movies. Like I said, over time, if we just start to make a series and we don't have a stricter view of control over that series on what's canonical and what's not, it starts to lose its quality, or starts to lose the nostalgia feeling, whatever hits home. And I think when people go in to watch, they expect that same feeling as they did 20 years ago. That's also not going to happen, I don't feel. To me, The Mandalorian is Star Wars, but it's something completely different. It's shot on a different lens. It's got whole different music. I don't think that's John Williams.
No, he's done with Star Wars music. He's retired fully.
You recognize that's The Mandalorian when you watch it. And nothing about that sings traditional Star Wars at all, but people like it. The only thing that I think
speaking of John Williams, though, I wouldn't watch a Star Wars movie if it didn't have John Williams on the thing. Like I just wouldn't.
You're gonna stop after this, like, because he's not coming back. Like
I know. I've already committed to that. That's not a problem.
That's the thing, is like I wouldn't mind, because like I said, they kind of got close. I feel it's the fact that bring back some of the traditional songs and incorporate some new ones in between. Like if you're gonna go for a big fight, maybe do something new there, but keep the original like Star Wars theme there, keep some of the original like the Force theme, do stuff like that. Find stuff that hits home. I would even say that do that in your TV every now and then. Bring something that hits the brain.
There's only one Star Wars fight song, and we both know what it is.
But I can't be that restrictive. Like I said, over time people lose that. And it's
no, stop. We both know exactly what the one Star Wars fight song is.
If you're gonna say Duel of the Fates,
or
Battle of Heroes, I can't.
No, Duel of the Fates, obviously.
Okay. Look,
that is the Star Wars fight song. It is literally the Star Wars fight song.
If you boot up Jedi Academy multiplayer, there's a song that plays. And that is an awesome song.
I wouldn't deny it. I'd probably recognize it. I haven't played Jedi Academy multiplayer in...
Or no,
I don't have enough fingers.
Jedi Outcast multiplayer. I think it boots up in single player too.
I still have no fingers for that.
But it also plays in the Battle of Endor too. Anyway, the fact that I'm getting to is familiar is nice, but and like I said, this may ring true to some people. It may ring horribly false. I don't feel that it needs to be necessary all the time. I think that it should pop into your Star Wars. I think it should pop into your Lord of the Rings. But like I said, things deteriorate over time.
So with that said, though, I think familiar is a great way to lead up to new.
Yes,
right?
Familiar is good.
Get people to feel like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. But hey, here's what this is supposed to be, but newer. Like
Like,
that's
so,
that's
for
how
example,
familiar should lead into new.
yeah, I mean, like when I first saw Force Awakens, right? I
Okay.
expected traditional, but I also expected something new, right?
Right.
So whatever, I can't remember what they call Rey's theme, if it's just called Rey's theme, whatever. To me, I thought they used that fine in that movie. I think it's overused later on,
Okay.
but like there should be. I personally thought there should be a lot more traditional Star Wars music in those movies.
Gotcha.
They try to incorporate a lot more of their own music, and that's why I say, like, when there's too much creative control. You've got one movie has one mood, another movie has a different mood, and like your feelings are all off. So the music's weird, the pacing is weird. It's not a trilogy; they're their own films at that point.
Okay.
And
Because I've only seen the sequels once each,
oh, okay,
and I
like,
won't see them again.
and it's the same for.
I just want to clarify. Are they? No. This is an actual genuine question because I don't remember the music from any of them,
Huh?
unless it was like any of the main themes I've heard before. So like Ray's theme, I literally cannot
Okay, just
bring
look it up.
that forward. No, I'm not going to.
But-
There's a reason for that because I'm not doing anything for the sequels. But what I'm getting at is,
Make it hard.
are they playing more? Are they playing the music more because the character's on screen as opposed to
Will they do
what
it
the scene
more?
is supposed to be?
Do it more in a transition, or they do it more, yeah, because the character's on screen. Like, they do it usually at the right time. It's just the fact that, like, you could be replacing that with something traditional.
Like something
then-
that would more go for the scene you're in as opposed to, oh hey, it's Ray, we have to play her music.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh hey, it's this scene, we need to play this scene music.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. No,
I
that was the question I wanted to ask.
I own The Force Awakens. I don't own the other two movies because I don't feel like paying for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother.
We have Disney Plus for the kids, so really for me, it's not a bother for me to watch the other two on streaming services, but I watch them for the analyzation, and I personally cannot say I don't like something if I haven't reviewed it. So, like,
Yeah,
I've seen them at least twice over.
No, this is why I've stuck to once. I've seen them once, I know what happens. I don't need to know more than what I've seen. I really don't. Like that's how much I really dislike them. I can't. I can't. I just can't.
You, making it hard for me, Polsky.
I mean, you've kind of lit a match in my brain saying maybe I should watch them again, just in case. But at
Well,
the same time,
I'm not going to tell you to watch
I feel
them,
like I should.
right?
No,
Because
no,
if
no.
you don't like them,
No, you haven't.
but
You haven't said to watch them by any means. No,
if you're-
that's not it.
if you need to know something about the music, like, I'm pretty sure there's a free OST somewhere that doesn't support. If you feel like you don't want to support anything towards the sequels, I'm pretty sure, like, there's some jackwagon out there that has put the OST, and I'm pretty sure you can get those resources somewhere. And-
You're saying that like I don't already have copies of.
Well, then
the
there you go.
movies.
But I can't really describe it to you if it's,
No,
like,
we're good.
it's something that, like, you have to be able to at least tolerate once more. And I can understand if you don't want to watch the movies. I don't feel like dredging through these movies more than once or twice. And
I just.
like I said, the cast for me, there are certain, like I said, to me, The Last Jedi wasn't super bad, but it's hard to watch. If it's hard to watch for me, then you know you've done something wrong.
Yep.
I will still wear my T-shirt with pride, though.
Yeah,
I still have that T-shirt, and I will still wear it on stream. Every once in a while, I do it to get on Kurgan's nerves, because we had this argument about The Last Jedi a long time ago. I just told him, it's just okay, and like he has now given me crap about that forever.
Oh, wait, so that reminds me. Have you actually seen Highlander and seen the Kurgan in Highlander?
I watched Highlander a long time ago, and I don't remember it. Like, I was a kid. So, no, I haven't watched it reliably.
Okay. I got you, fam.
I'll probably end up watching it when I'm... I will have a day or two to myself eventually, and I will probably just binge it. I'm good at doing that. Just binging TV.
No, let me just hold on. No, let me just send you one thing.
Are you sending me something?
If I can find it.
Oh, excuse me.
I swear to God, Google's search is getting stupider. There it is.
Hey, Menace Tirith, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Menace, how are you?
Okay, I'm pulling this up.
Pretty sure that's the one. Yes.
Pull it up on stream.
That is legit the Kurgan.
Oh, actually, I can't pull it up on stream because we're talking.
Oh, you no, yeah, you probably shouldn't.
Is that the guy who plays in Ghostbusters 2? Looks like the guy who plays
Vigo?
the paint.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. That's not him. That's a different person.
The long-haired guy? Are you sure? It looks like him.
It's not him. I can assure you that it is not him. I don't even have to IMDb that to know you to tell you that it's not him.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, the Kurgan has like top-notch armor and everything at the start of that movie.
Alright, so... Ugh.
And remember, that's also Mr. Krabs. Same guy. And I mean, after you watch Highlander, paying attention to what the Kurgan does during that movie, you will have a whole new light on exactly what kind of person Mr. Krabs may be behind the scenes. I'm just kidding. Like, no, Clancy Brown is fucking awesome.
He is. I'm a huge fan.
Yep, absolutely. He'll go from this psychotic role to being Mr. Krabs.
Like I said, Clancy Brown played a generous serial killer in Dexter New Blood, and it was amazing.
Nice.
Try to get one more round in. Oh, I'm gonna lose my thing. Fuck.
That's what she said. No, wait.
Or is it what he said?
They said?
Maybe so.
Yeah, it works out. Man, now you got me thinking about like actually rewatching the sequels.
Well, like I said, the Rise of Skywalker is the one I can't dredge through. It's horrible. And not for the lack of actors, it's just the storyline's absolute trash. And it's just bad. And like, no offense to JJ, but I think he just had the wrong end of the stick. So
yeah, that's the first one, right?
the Rise of Skywalker, no, it's the last one. I can watch The Force Awakens. I watched that one probably more times than I've watched the.
Yeah, so hold on, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Skywalker Rises.
Rise of Skywalker, yes.
Yeah, whatever. Disney doesn't deserve my correcting of semantics.
They suck. Disney sucks. They all suck.
You're not wrong.
Oh, they're just another giant corporate conglomerate for me. So, in my eyes, they suck just as hard.
Oh, just wait till they come out with a new Marvel movie that includes 17 of the Avengers.
God. Don't forget Moon Knight, also played by Oscar
Yeah,
Isaac.
Yep, that too. Wait till there's a Star Wars crossover.
Stop. Before I throw up on it now. Ugh.
You know what's gonna happen. Just wait.
Boycotts. There'll be boycotts everywhere.
A Star Wars Christmas Special 2.0 featuring the Avengers. I can even say that with a straight face. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know you're dooming yourself, because if it happens, it's gonna be bad.
When it happens, I'm just gonna say called it. That's it. I'm gonna say called it, go offline, and never return.
On I have. Retreat to Dagobah, I will.
Yeah, basically.
Never be seen again.
Into exile, I must go.
Yes.
No, fuck, might as well watch episode 3 tonight.
And that's your go-to.
Oh, 100%. Like, Return of the Jedi is still my favorite one, but episode 3 slaps. Like, it just... everything that happens in it...
Did you slap your
and
mic?
then I accidentally did, yeah.
Well, it felt like you did it on purpose because you were like, it slaps. It just, you're not sure. Like,
No, I moved my hand up and
Oh.
accidentally brushed the mic.
I was like, it's okay if you did. That's fine. I mean, you want to emphasize by spanking your mic. That's fine. It's cool.
No, not this time. Not this time. But,
All right.
yeah, no, the music during the final duel is just... I will, like, legit either turn my speakers up if it's appropriate time of day to do that, or throw on headphones and turn them puppies up to fucking 100% just to listen to the music for the end duel every single time.
All right. Well,
Like, Duel of the Fates is fight music. The end duel music for episode 3 is like, you watch that and cry and shed tears of, this is magical.
I mean, I can relate. Minus the crying. I don't cry often in movies. There are certain movies that make me tear up. I feel emotional when I watch episode 3. As in, like, I feel angry. And I feel like... I
have no
upset.
shame in saying this. I will legit cry Lion King every time. Mufasa dies, I'm in tears. Straight up. Not like, no question.
It reminds me of, like... I mean, that's cool. I'm all good with that. It reminds me of the Star Wars theory thing where he cried during the the Luke Skywalker reveal during the Mandalorian.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was just like, I mean, I was like, wow. But there are some people who like legit got emotional. Before we continue, because we can just go for hours, I'm going to, because we're at 2 hours 41 minutes, I'm going to end the Rantcast, so I can do the next 2 games, because we're going to continue to play Rollerdrome. You are free to stick with me if you want to keep talking, because I could do this all night. Otherwise,
so can I.
because after this, I'm going to do maybe an hour of Rollerdrome, and then I'm going to do Arkham City. But I got to take a BRB too, because I've been drinking lots of water, and I've got to go to the bathroom. So,
yep, me 3.
Switch over to the my regular stream here. Let me see if it will actually hold, because I'll try to switch over.
No, I will let you go. I am going to actually put episode 3 on.
All right.
And listen to it on my headphones instead of you.
That's fine.
That way I put the mic out of my face anyways.
Right, well, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me. And you have a good night, Polsky.
Great time. Yeah, you too.
All right, take care.
I'll be here on stream still. Like that's not going to change, but I just won't be talking to you directly.
No, that's fine.
Outside of chat.
You can chill. And like I said, I'll just be playing the next 2 games.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and take a quick BRB. I'll switch the stream over. I'll see if it holds off. If not, we'll just start the stream back up again. I'll be right back.